All right, Laura, what are you drinking?
I'm just drinking sparkling water with a splash of watermelon juice.
Nice.
Oh, yum.
That's
Have you bought that watermelon soda from Trader Joe's too?
No.
It's usually right near the register, and they only have 4 little cans, and it's a sparkling watermelon, and it's so good, and it's really good when you spike it too.
I've been craving a lot of watermelon.
Yeah.
We're
No.
going to Mammoth the last week of August. We rented a house so that we could have a different view. And Kyle and his fiance to be are coming. And Kelsey and her boyfriend are coming. And anyway, all the guys
You
are
have enough room?
yeah, it's a huge house.
Okay, good.
The boys are all going to have a margarita off. They're all going to compete on their margarita.
Oh, that sounds
So they're already talking shit to each other about it.
Okay, I hope there's nothing they need to do the next morning.
Yeah. And the girls are just like, that's fine. We're happy to taste however many rounds.
Anne Elgood was just up in Mammoth last week for the week. It sounded so beautiful.
Oh, I should email her to see if she has any advice.
I mean, I think the advice is just like hunker down in a change of setting, but it looks beautiful.
Right.
I want hikes that aren't like,
Yeah.
I want hard strolls. That's what I want.
Oh, you don't want to work that hard on your knees. And
I don't want to
ankles
work
and
that hard. They're talking about this hike where you go up a ladder. Like when you say ladder, forget it. I'm out.
Have you ever done mountain biking?
No.
So,
and they're talking about that too. I'm not doing that.
oh, it's so scary. Just be really careful. Oh my God. And you need a shell for your spine when you go down on those things. Okay.
Yeah, no, the spine's actually not what I'm thinking about as it bumps along. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, good.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. So Laura, we've sent an invitation to everybody to join us if possible, but you're our third call of the day. And we just have a small group, so we can wait another 2-3 minutes. But yeah, can you just tell us what's going on too while we wait, and then we'll share.
Yeah. I literally just walked in the door like 20 minutes ago. I was out since 8 this morning driving probably Victoria, like in circles around your house for Black News. We started out in Compton at one of our first sites, and then we were in Inglewood, and then we were up in Lamart Park, and kind of just going to, I think we ended up going to 8 of the sites that we're working on confirming for Black News. So it was really productive. Really productive.
And what are they? Are they like libraries or stores or barber salons? Like what are?
That's been, the whole pivot and evolution of the project is like where, depending on this kind of, ever evolving time frame of shutdowns and like what are the sites that have been active throughout and will be regardless of like what the kind of phases look like. So it's a mix of, there's a barber shop, there are a couple of coffee shops, but coffee shops that are really like community centers that have like ongoing cultural programming. There's a clothing store in Lamart Park. It's a really like kind of interesting eclectic mix of sites, but sites that are, there's a mini market, liquor store, but sites that like are really invested in their kind of communities and building programming and cultural resources through their spaces. It feels really,
and they always did, or they're doing it for the first time because of Black News?
No, they always have, and they have kind of outside of Black News, like a lot of support of local, whether it's artists or artisans or makers. But yeah, like Hilltop Coffee, I think is right over by you.
Yeah, I can actually walk to that. Is the only coffee shop that we can walk to, and it's really cool. I really like them.
Yeah,
we want them to thrive. They had to actually shut down for a while, so I don't even know. My husband and I just haven't been because we were not sure if they were open again.
Yeah, no, we met with the owner. They're open. We're working on a huge, fingers crossed, Black News install there, like a full kind of wallpaper 2-monitor install.
What about at Post and Beam restaurant? That's another really great spot down there.
Yeah, we're looking at the mall. We're looking at the Baldwin Hills Mall and the African American Museum of Art, which is in the Macy's there. Like that.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
I
Yes.
didn't know that.
It's on the 3rd floor of the Macy's, right next to the mattresses. You have to walk through the mattress department. It's been there since like the 60s. It's incredible.
Oh
Incredible.
my God. Okay.
Highly recommend a visit. I think they're closed right now too. Yeah, Khalil, as we like kind of contracted the project and kept kind of reining in the scale of the project, he was really interested in sites that like had a connection to the underground museum, and so many of these sites kind of have. So they've kind of evolved really organically. It's been nice.
Well, maybe that's a good segue to tell you that we're going to pay for at least one of those sites. So we'd like to offer you a grant of $10,000.
Amazing.
And I guess in the beginning you said that was going to be 2 sites, and we were so excited. And then the last call we had with you, you said it might only be 1. But whatever it is, it can be operating funds for you. You can decide how to spend the money.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Like coming off of this day, and it, you know, there's just a lot of sites, like, again, it's somewhere probably between 5 and 10, but any additional support right now for the project just gives us that little bit of a buffer that like for a wallpaper, like we might not have been able to do a wallpaper in some of the sites. And like, it would really give us a little bit of kind of breathing room to think a little bit more expansively. So I'm so grateful.
Great.
Yeah.
And
That's
this is unrestricted, so we're all talking about this, but you get to do whatever you want with it.
Amazing. That's
Okay.
the best kind of support. I'm so
We
grateful.
figured that.
But it'll go towards that. And then also, I think, you know, I told you guys a lot about the Gatherings project, and we just launched our first project with an artist, Kathy Garcia, and that got a lot of traction online. She's got a lot of great ideas. We're working on some really exciting programs. So like, I you know, I'm grateful for the unrestrictedness of it, but I can guarantee it will go 100% towards these projects. And artist honoraria, the curatorial fees, you know, I've really been trying to not kind of have to cut back on those commitments, and any support like that right now is so appreciated, and really just gives me a little bit of breathing room to like maintain that commitment to those artists and not have to like ask them to kind of cut corners, or, you know, but can really like stay firm in their vision.
You know, I just wanted to pay you a compliment. I know Kim maybe has known you even longer than me, but I just have to say the fact that you started at Land as an intern and then left and then came back, and that you said on one of the calls that like that it just was so natural that you just wanted to be, you know, a bigger part of this organization, and now that you're leading it, and you made such a huge gesture for our group in particular that we were so let down, because it was like our first experience of granting, and then you were sort of heroic in turning that around, and so we just believe in you. And I just thought, you know, it's you know, it's kind of like we don't know who's gonna do okay during this time, so we're sort of doing our own little like, okay, we're gonna be cheerleaders for a few people. In fact, I should just tell you that we did talk about the consortium, and we recognize the importance of the consortium, but obviously that is for, you know, $1 million grantors, not the smaller gang, because we'd really like to have a connection individually with you and our group, and have some visits, you know, to any site or any walkthroughs or any, however we can connect with you now that isn't live. But it was more important to everybody to feel like a real personal connection. So that's why we're not giving to the consortium.
It's really, I think it's really smart.
You really helped us understand that.
Good.
That thinking also, because when you talk to us just sort of as your development director hat, and help us really see where we wanted to steer the fund. So I appreciate that.
Well, and I really respect how, again, as I've said, I really admire and respect the model of the Angeles Art Fund. I hope that you guys continue to kind of grow, that there, you know, more and more support for your initiatives kind of grows and galvanizes. But I hope that it's really a model that a lot of people in LA can kind of see and feel like, again, maybe individually, I mean, but I hesitate to say it, like individually, each of your contributions are really significant, but that collective support and truly investment personally is really meaningful and impactful in a way that is rare, and it really means a lot to us, me individually, but us in this kind of sector that, you know, do this work. And, you know, there's not a lot of like support or understanding for these kinds of projects. Sometimes you really have to like fight so hard, and I'm just really grateful that you guys really see the benefit to the community and make that investment in us as organizations, as individuals, but also as artists, and like that kind of leap of faith and commitment in this group of artists that are kind of the, you know, Khalil is kind of an exception, but still like, you know, emerging artists, this kind of sector of like what LA, you know, the kind of next generation of artists that are really going to make LA, you know, LA is already on the map. It's been on the map forever, but it's such an exciting time for this kind of scale of projects. And there's not a lot of people like you guys supporting it. So.
Well, maybe what we'll do when things feel a little safer, you know, when it opens, then we can actually send people on a little, you know, treasure hunt or whatever, where we all go to a couple of these different sites and make something of it. Because I think for us, it's always the in-person piece feels so good. And so I don't know what kind of planning you're going to do, and I'm sure you don't even know yet, but
we're going to have all kinds of programming that came up today, like Khalil and Justin, my curator, who I hired as the project manager, but I've since hired as a curator at Land. He's incredible. And he has this Project Sun studio. Justin is one of the artists of Made in LA as well. And his Project Sun is this kind of curatorial space around Black masculinity out of his father's barbershop right on Western, I can't remember the cross street, but like, I'm sure Justin would be happy to host the group. It's such a really special space.
Wait a minute. Have we met Justin at Underground Museum?
Probably.
I know Justin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We
Okay,
did. He's so impressive.
He's incredible.
He's incredible.
So he's my curator. I was just with him all day today. But he has so many programming ideas, is what I was going to say. So there's going to be a lot of kind of monthly ongoing programming pieces that we'd love to have you guys buy.
I mean, the most basic one is, Laura, if you want to know the truth, people don't even have to go anywhere. So if there's a way to plug into Black News, and if they're stuck at home and they can sit at their desk and have a curator or Khalil talk about it as it's playing, you know, that's the one thing, because it's video and news and people can stay home if they're, you know, afraid or whatever. We can definitely do a program with you. So
we have a 20-minute screening clip that Khalil has pieced together, and I would be happy to ask him and or Justin to kind of speak to the work and also speak to this group of sites that we've selected, like in advance of it opening. Can
we do that in early September? Can we just like pick a date and make that our first program for the fall? I think that would, and then it could be like, you know, a week before Made in LA or the minute
we're going to go in. We're navigating installation. Obviously, that's a moving target. So as long as it's not like the week, it's probably going to be 2 weeks of install. We're looking at starting like the 14th. So actually that week of like the 6th or around then after Labor Day.
So you could even give us an opportunity to do a development project of our own. So if we had an invitation from you that was like a day or two before it opens, you know, globally or whatever, and then we, you know, Kim, Marta, John, all our members, we sort of do a kind of a mailing to say you have a chance to do something kind of before it happens. And, you know, because we are definitely trying to figure out, like you are, how do we increase our base, our group? And, you know, we only seem to grow, you know, 2 or 3 people a year. We don't grow at 10 people a year, but maybe we need to do something that's exciting and dramatic and newsworthy and of the moment, and people can do it at their desk. So it could just be a really great opportunity. So if you wouldn't mind, like you and I trying to figure out when that might be, and you know, we don't need that long lead time. You know, a week, 10 days, something like that. Okay.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, I'd love to see that screener clip at some point.
I'll send it to you. We were just talking about it today. I need an updated password for it. But it's, watch it in full screen, and it is like, it's such a moving piece of art.
Is it sort of like Arthur Jaffa? I mean, is it like that kind of feeling?
Yeah, it's almost even more like, because Khalil is also a music video director, like he just, the like vocabulary, it's so captivating. And the editing is so seamless that you watch it and you're like, wait, 20 minutes just went by? Like you can watch it just for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah,
Cool.
there's probably some, you know, fundraising / marketing opportunities around, you know, getting people to quote buy a site, you know, to fund the site, and then also maybe even from people in the media world who, you know, want to get the the benefit of being a sponsor of, if it really is a news channel, like a news feed focused on the African American community. That's
I
good
can't remember if
PR for them.
I can't remember if this was confirmed when we spoke last, but I think since we've spoken, Apple Music has come on board as a big sponsor on the production side.
Wow.
On the what?
That's great.
Apple Music is actually going to be releasing 4 like proprietary segments on their platform, as well as a series of like playlists that Khalil and the Black News team are going to be curating.
Good.
So that was really exciting, just in terms of the production. I mean, that's like a $500,000 project, the production side of creating new content. He wants to keep creating content up until the election and through the run of the show. So that was a huge, and they're still kind of navigating, but absolutely to your point, and I think too, in the next few weeks, I'll have a better sense of, I think especially with this 10,000, that really gives us like a solid kind of buffer that I was getting a little anxious about. But I think what'll be interesting in the next few weeks is it might be like, $500, $1,000 that could like allow us to do the wallpaper or to do a night of programs at one of these sites that like those, and I think making those direct connections, to your point, Victoria, too, of like really engaging people in like a direct impact. Like, yes, you write a check, but like actually then it means that this community at that space can get to experience this specific part of it,
That's
and
what I know, for example, Candy and Ken Deemer, they push me all the time, like, how do we prove impact? How do we prove impact? We really do need that. And I have to get better at sort of recording it, tracking it somehow. But yes, please.
Like, because I mean, as a grant, we receive so many grants, like large kind of NEA grants, the county grants, and there's always the metrics and reporting. And to be quite honest, like as the provider of that information, surely there's like the quantitative metrics, like how many people, but at the end of the day, what I find that I think is relatively easy for, grant makers like you guys to ask for are just like the qualitative statements. Like we get a lot of like asks for, the impact statements from artists. And sometimes it's just like an artist in 3 minutes being like, I never thought I would get to have my work, like Black News that has existed in the Venice Biennale, exist at Hank's Mini Mark at Florence and Inglewood or whatever, like that it's home, and that people, we went to Soul Folks, this amazing new kind of concept shop right on Lamart Park, right up from Art and Practice. And they were saying how, what if, we're talking about the wall text, and they're like, what if people just walked in and thought that that was a news channel? Like they didn't know that it wasn't a news channel. And just,
it should be a news channel.
And hopefully it will. But just, those kind of statements of like, the impact is so important, but sometimes it's just like one person that like completely changed. Like for me, honestly, I think I might've said this to you guys, seeing Black News at the Venice Biennale and seeing people, the way people were riveted, completely opened my mind to the possibilities of that medium of artwork, a kind of long form video artwork, to really like completely shift people's mindsets and expose them to a celebration of Black culture that we do not see in the media.
Right.
And it
Well, there's a place you should check out. It's called Hawkins House of Burgers. You heard of that?
No.
It's an iconic burger place in Watts, where the line is out the door and people are waiting and waiting. But it's like iconic part of the community. And a friend of mine is friends with the owner of it, and it's so it's all African American community, but you're waiting all the time. It's a long wait. So I don't know if they have a wall. That would be a great place to put something up, because it also keeps people happy while they're waiting in line.
That's a good question. Are any of these exterior screens that don't have a weather issue?
We talked a lot about that today, and kind of Khalil made the decision that he would rather the installations be inside, and a lot of them are visible from the street, but that he wanted them to be inside so that, if and when the shutdown occurs, we're really looking at these sites as existing kind of indefinitely. We're looking at them as not coming down at the end of Made in LA. So he wanted, if we're going to spend $10,000 and really like do a, top of the line installation, that it will live on beyond 4 months.
That's fabulous.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh.
That's really terrific.
Yeah, it's exciting. Today was really big, just getting out into the field and seeing the sites and meeting with, all of the owners, these like incredibly passionate business owners that are struggling, that are like, but they're still there, they're optimistic, and they were so excited about being able to share Black news and have their spaces really exist as kind of community centers. One of the sites, this Hank's Mini Mart, I can't, like, this woman, Kelly, her father opened the liquor store in 1997, and she's since taken it over. She got a grant through the like LA County Health, like one of those initiatives around food deserts, and she really wants to like have a lot, healthier food options in the neighborhood. She wants to do like a big kind of small business Saturday, in November, and invite all of the other local kind of makers and markets to have like an outdoor kind of small business festival. And just like thinking like how beautiful that she's like struggling, but she's like, I want to help everyone else in my community. And that's the sites that we're working with feel so generous in that way.
Great.
It's really exciting.
Wow.
So I can't wait to get you guys.
Here, Laura.
What?
You're making a difference here. I'm glad you chose. I know you had lots of offers. I've always been really glad you chose this one.
No, me too. Today when I was running around with the team, like, again, land being that bridge between Hank's Mini Market and the Hammer Museum and the Huntington, like we need that organization that kind of act as a producer between those spaces, and also for artists like Justin who are turning their father, his father's barbershop into a community center an art space. It's like, and really thinking how the underground has created this whole new model for what an art institution can be in LA that is really artist and community driven, and however land can kind of support those artists, be a platform for those artists to kind of, get them off the ground, and then they can kind of run with it. That direction feels really good for me. And the kind of intersection of art and activism and continuing to support artists that are, thinking really expansively and how to give back to their communities. Like that all just feels really generative and possible right now.
I think culture is going to matter in healing our world, our cities. It's really important what you're doing, and the fact that you do it kind of on the streets in the public sphere. It's really important.
It feels like that. And so I'm grateful to you, and that's why the book, it really wasn't that big of a deal at the end of the day. And I'm, like I said, really grateful we had it. But, having that support from you guys and having just the relationship I had, and, Kim from the Hammer and Victoria, but like just having that kind of ongoing support and investment in the organization was really meaningful in the last year as I look back and think of what a crazy juncture it was. Like we're getting through it. And actually I feel like, as we've discussed, like positioned in a really, really strong place to have a lot of impact right now with really low overhead, and just can really, commit so much more of our resources right now just into the artists and into these projects and back into these, businesses. Like Hank's, she wants like $10,000 to pull off this kind of festival. I'm like, let's figure it out. We can, find a way to make that happen.
Yeah, even a fun GoFundMe or something. You can find a way.
We're talking about like Black News merch. I'm like, what if we like create a bunch of merch that the stores could then sell and keep proceeds? Like thinking really kind of expansively of how not only land can be more sustainable and self-sustaining, but also how we can get back to these, our hosting sites.
Yeah,
that's great.
You rock. All right.
You rock. And happy to be part of it. Yeah.
I'm so grateful. And however I can kind of keep you guys, I've been thinking about also doing a series of like kind of salon style conversations with the curatorial team. We have Hugo, who's working on gatherings, Justin, who's really working on Black News, and then Ali Sabatnik, who's working on the Catalina project. So as we kind of continue to have these like curatorial conversations and some studio visits, I'll keep you guys. I don't have anything confirmed, but like that's the kind of direction of things I want to.
I think we should start just basically inviting our friends all the time, Kim and John, like all the time. Whenever there's a cool event, right? Everybody and say, come with me, and see what we can do with that.
And we can also always do an event. We're working on gatherings in the LA State Historic Park around Anna Sue Hoy's sculpture. It's a really beautiful park to like, have a talk or walk or something too.
In fresh air, where you're not near people and COVID.
We're safe.
Space out. Yeah.
Right, sorry, I have to run, but this is great.
No, this is good. This is all it needed to be. Okay.
And I sent you I sent you an email with a picture of Hawkins House of Burgers. And
Amazing. I can't wait to check it out.
the woman who runs it is a fantastic
I love
community icon. They
I
do
love that.
1,000 meals a day.
That's incredible.
It's just, yeah, and it's it's sort of a walk up or drive up community, all local.
I'll have to check it. I'll have to ask Khalil if he's been down there and if there's any, yeah. Right.
If you saw what the burgers look like, if you're a burger fan, you go. It's like a
That's
pilgrimage.
great.
All right. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Good
right.
night.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll
I'm
talk
so
soon,
grateful.
Laura, and Marta and John will do finances with you. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Alrighty. Take care.
Bye guys. Thank you.